As fantastic a CFP as Mel O is, as wonderful an attorney as I am, and as good as Stormy is at whatever it is he does, please do note that anything said in our podcasts are our opinions alone and are not meant to be taken as financial or legal advice.
Welcome to Finances, the Other F Word, a Gen Xer podcast for musicians and music lovers, where we discuss money and music without all the pretentious bullshit. Here are your hosts, Zoe Terry, attorney at large, Stormy Andrews, founder of Yokel Local Marketing, and Mel O, certified financial planner and author of Finances, the Other F Word. Listener discretion is advised.
As fantastic a CFP as Mel O is, as wonderful an attorney as I am, and as good as Stormy is at whatever it is he does, please do note that anything said in our podcasts are our opinions alone and are not meant to be taken as financial or legal advice.
Welcome to Finances, the Other F Word, a Gen Xer podcast for musicians and music lovers, where we discuss money and music without all the pretentious bullshit. Here are your hosts, Zoe Terry, attorney at large, Stormy Andrews, founder of Yokel Local Marketing, and Mel O, certified financial planner and author of Finances, the Other F Word. Listener discretion is advised.
We're recording.
Okay, awesome. Hey guys, welcome to Finances, the Other F Word. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about duets and financial strategies that go together. But first, we're going to let Stormy share some fucking awesome news with us.
Man, it's like that.
It's like that.
Well, you know what? So this is kind of cool. So I had another article published in Forbes. Yeah, Forbes.com.
Fucking pin drop. That's the fucking Forbes right there. If you're a financial person,
bam,
get on it.
So I actually did a little study in my, in that particular article, I was talking about what most organizations get wrong with buyer personas. That was a different article in Forbes. This one was.
All right, so basically what he's doing is he's just spitting out and accidentally letting us know he's had multiple articles published in Forbes. No, go ahead. It's all right. Humble brag.
This one was how you can have multiple buyer personas. And as a case study that I used in my example in this particular article was realtors. So if you're a realtor listening to this, a loan officer, you're going to get some really, really good information and insights. But besides those two, there's good insights and information for everyone. So if you want to know how to find it on Forbes, just go to Forbes.com, right? And just type in Stormy Andrews. That's Stormy with an I-E, because if you spell it with a Y, you might get Stormy Daniels.
No.
But if you type in Stormy Andrews, do a search on Forbes, you'll see it. What do you mean more interesting?
And when is this article dropping? Like, can they do this right now?
Yeah, you can do it right now. It dropped just a couple of days ago.
Sweet.
It just dropped.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so that's what happened. That's what's going on with me. And for those of you that will find yourself, there's more. For those of you that will find yourself in Denver at the end of July, I'll be speaking at Influence 2019, which is pretty awesome. I'll be Influence. What is Influence? It's an organization. It's actually the largest event put on by the National Speakers Association. So being invited to speak at Influence is kind of a big deal, because there are literally thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of speakers around the world that would love to speak at Influence. So being able to speak at Influence is pretty awesome. Once again, I'll be talking on the buyer's persona. I'll be on stage with some of the best speakers on the planet, and I'll be teaching people how to use the world's best buyer persona or instant campaign within their organization. So I'm pretty jazzed about that.
You beat me to it, because I was going to say, is it a buyer persona or the world's
best buyer persona?
World's best buyer persona.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Yokel Local. You guys can figure that out. And so we're going to do things slightly different today on the podcast. We're going to kick it over to Zoe. Then we're going to kick it over to me with some financial stuff, and then I'm going to round out some music, and then she's going to round out some music so we can sandwich it. Because
wait, I want to get in the middle of that sandwich.
I bet you do, you dirty dog.
That only works for women. I'm just saying.
Okay, gotcha. There it is.
That was it. Was it?
I wasn't throwing. You said we're going to do a little different. We're going to throw it over to Zoe, right? And then you're going to throw it back to me, and then we're going to round out that sandwich.
I thought he was going to drop some like
stuff,
awesome shit. But all right, okay. So you just sandwich your way in whenever you can.
Absolutely.
Because we've had feedback on the show that some people really like the financial stuff, which is important, and then some people really just like the music part. So we're going to try to mix it up so we just do like a little sauciness for everybody. But first, before Zoe starts off with the music, oh, by the way, I found out why I breathe so much.
Because you're alive?
Because you're alive? Wow.
No, but when you guys breathe, because I edit all the podcasts, when you guys breathe, you don't breathe the way I do. Like you just like this, and I'm all like I'm taking these gasps. It's because I talk about 1,000 times faster than you. Yeah. So I literally talk until I run out of breath and I'm about to die, and then I take in this huge amount of air. Right.
I'm going to use that today. That's going to be a change.
Totally true.
Okay.
I edit myself breathing out constantly, but because Zoe does such a great job of posting to our social media, again, Finance is the Other F Word on Facebook and Instagram, and Amped Cheddar on Twitter, pertinent articles on everything we've talked about. I want her to review those a little bit. So if you're interested, you can read through them, and then we're going to start the show. And there's a little special welcome going on. So what's going on, Zoe?
Okay, well, this weekend back in UK, it is Glastonbury. You freaky freaks!
Glastonbury's back.
It is. Episode.
I thought we were done with Glastonbury.
It's every year, motherfuckers. And the thing that you didn't even know existed is this weekend. I actually have at least 2 friends that I know of that are there. So shout out to. Okay.
Sorry, I was
she
breathing.
Has to. She
I
just
was
has
breathing.
to friggin' breathe,
sorry.
even when I'm speaking.
Right,
so shout out to who?
So shout out to Simon and his wife who are there, and a shout out to Nicola and her husband who are there, and any
was
other.
That Nicole?
No, Nicola.
Nicola.
I have more than one friend that starts with N. It's fucking crazy.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
Wow.
So, yeah, but I have more than one black friend, so I just trumped you.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Like that.
Okay, well, we'll get into that another time. So anyway, Glastonbury is this weekend. So that
was hilarious. Come on, you guys.
Oh, God. When we can finish with Mel laughing at her own jokes, I will continue.
I am awesome. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So all this past week, I've posted quite a bunch of articles about Glastonbury, from the how to be greener at Glastonbury, why it costs so much to run a music festival like Glastonbury.
Hey, I think we did a podcast on that.
That's my point.
Oh, yeah. Hey, there you
go. How to avoid sexual assaults at
okay, now you just brought festivals.
It down. I know, but I'm going to bring it right back up again, because one of the best articles was how to meet Jeff Goldblum.
I know, I saw that.
Glastonbury. Yeah,
so those of you who don't know, I have a super major crush on Jeff Goldblum, even now. And no, I have not ever seen The Fly, because everybody who asks me says, oh, but have you seen The Fly? I haven't. But I heard that there's a scene in The Fly where he takes his manhood off and puts it in a medicine cabinet, and I haven't seen it, but I'm thinking maybe that would be worth watching it. But I really don't want to see him gross, because he's so delicious.
Well, you could have met him if you were there.
I know.
I understand there's a heat wave going on right now in Glastonbury.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I spoke to my grandmother. I spoke to my grandmother today, and she did say it was a little bit warm in her conservatory. So I think that does.
In her what?
Conservatory.
Is that her house?
No, it's the little glass add-ons that we have in our houses.
Does everybody have conservatories in their house in England?
No.
Oh, just your grandma. Okay, well, good.
Not just my grandma.
Wow. Shout out to grandma and her conservatory. That's awesome.
Right? That's pretty
Hi,
cool.
Grandma. I know you won't listen, and if you do, I'm sorry about Mel's swearing. Anyway,
cool.
So other articles I've posted this week that directly relate to some of our other podcasts are, there was a couple of articles about memorabilia. There was, let me find my notes. I do apologize. Little Richard's house has just been sold in Lafayette Square. Yes, that.
Where's Lafayette Square?
Louisiana. Lafayette, Louisiana. Yeah.
How much was it?
Oh, I didn't go that far, because there's only so much research some of us
Richard's
can do.
House.
Right, Stormy.
I'm sure everyone's asking, like, okay, how much did it sell for?
Yeah, and you guys don't.
Why don't you
don't
look that up while I carry on?
You guys don't know this, but Stormy was giving us shit because Zoe and I are always prepared for podcasts, and he's just like, "What are we talking about?" And then. So we over-prepared.
We over-prepared. Dave Gilmour's guitars were auctioned for over $21 million, and all the proceeds went to a climate change charity.
I saw that.
And also, Julienne Auctions in LA, there was an article about how Michael Jackson memorabilia is still considered a very good investment. Yeah. So,
I love Michael Jackson. I would buy it. We need to do a separate podcast on moral musicians and see how that affects their bottom line.
So the womp musician, how'd you like that impersonation?
What the hell was that?
I think that was Little Richard.
Oh, Little Richard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was doing. Little Richard impersonation. I'm good. So, you know what? His Lafayette Square neighborhood. So this says Lafayette Square's in Los Angeles.
Oh, because Lafayette, Louisiana. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, well,
because I was like, wow, this looks a little expensive for Louisiana. But you want to take a guess of how much it sold for?
1.5.
Pretty good, but you're wrong.
Higher or lower?
Higher. 1.8.
Oh, that was a good guess.
Yeah, that was a good guess. 1.878.
Close.
Nice.
Not too bad. Built in 1923.
Okay.
Wow, plumbing's got to be shot.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful house on the inside. Nice.
Yeah, but
so there it is.
On the inside, it's probably wrecked. I mean, 1923 plumbing.
Yeah, but
even if
all the
it's
homes
updated.
You know.
I mean, they were still throwing trash out in the street, I think.
Anyway, there was also been a whole bunch of articles this week about all the artists who were affected by the 2008 Universal fire. And now a bunch of them are suing for $100 million, including the estate of Tom Petty and Tupac.
Tupac,
Tupac.
We've talked about this.
Did you
before.
say Tupac?
Oh God!
She always
I say
says
tomato.
Tupac.
You say tomato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Tupac. All right. And the estate of Tupac. Okay.
And Hole and Soundgarden, amongst others. But yeah, a whole bunch of artists, including Blink 182, The Who, Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, I saw the Sheryl
When
Crow.
this fire happened?
This is just recently.
2008, the fire happened.
In 2008? I thought it was.
And we're just now finding out
right.
that
I thought I thought it was just not too long ago because Eminem, has him saved.
Yeah, he had backed up his
he's the shit.
hard drive.
I love you, Eminem. Holler at me.
Oh yeah,
I'm confused.
I'm sure he will.
Saying,
so
oh yeah, he's going to be like,
just
wow.
finding out that the stuff's ruined.
I know.
Shouldn't they have found out a long time ago?
I swear to God, I don't remember that too. But you know what? In the financial industry, 2008 was such a shit show that I wouldn't have given a fuck if Universal burnt down at that time. I had too much other crap going on.
But anyway, that's my little roundup of the articles that have been posted in the past week. But there've been many more, but that's just a few. And then the other thing I want to say is that a little shout out to some new listeners that we have in Norway.
What?
Norway?
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, check it, y'all. So, USA, Canada, UK, Copenhagen, Australia, and now fucking Norway.
Norway.
So to celebrate Norway, because of course, when I saw Norway, that's a pretty big deal, and I immediately thought of Norwegian death metal.
Because we all would, right?
Yes,
that's what I was thinking.
That's the first thing you think of when you think of Norway. And I have to be honest, in full disclosure, I had not listened to a lot of Norwegian death metal.
I certainly haven't.
But you should. And
Nor
so
will I.
I did real quickly. I just pulled up the best Norwegian heavy metal bands, and I was spending a couple hours surfing on YouTube. And as I was looking, so these are the top 5 bands of Norwegian heavy metal bands. Now, this is the deal. I love the music. It's hard and heavy, and it was awesome. The deal is that it was like, so it's kind of like helicopter rock, where it's like a whole bunch of kick drum, and then it's like, you can't understand the lyrics. And I'm a big lyrics person, but the music is fucking awesome. And I think if I had enough of a drink going on, I wouldn't really give a crap what they said. So, Emperor is listed as number 1. Mayhem, which I have actually heard of. So I was pretty excited about that I actually knew any of them. Shout out to Norway's death metal scene. Immortal, which I've also heard of, but today was the first time I actually heard them. And they are, if you can imagine, even if you don't know what death metal sounds like, if you can think of what death metal is, then you got it.
I think death metal sounds like what I sound like when I'm singing in the shower.
No.
Oh, no. You
Okay,
haven't heard
so
me sing in the
somebody
shower.
else. So somebody else, if you can think of what death metal is.
Like
And
if you were singing in the shower and then your wife came in and tried to strangle you, that's probably
When my
a
wife
little
comes
bit
and
more.
sees me
But
in
with
the
a beat.
shower,
Yeah.
she's got different things on her mind.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
in
well-
your
Just saying.
dreams.
It's like that. That's how I roll.
We'll make sure we tell her that. And
Yeah.
then the last two are Dark Throne and Burzum. So thank you, listeners in Norway. Welcome to the fold.
To the fault.
To the fold.
fold.
So
F-O-L-D.
sorry. Do apologize.
Are we still talking about the sandwiches? What?
Sandwiches? What are you talking about?
You fold sandwiches.
You don't fold
That was
sandwiches.
Okay.
so
That didn't make
tenuous.
any
Okay,
kind of
and I do
sense.
apologize for just coughing up a lung. Okay, so welcome, Willkommen, Norway. I made that up. I have no idea if that is how you say.
I don't think
welcome.
that's how you
Willkommen.
I think that's Transylvania. I don't think that's
I think that might
Norway.
be German, but we'll find out.
I don't say welcome with a V.
Willkommen with a W.
Oh, you
but
said
spelled-
welcome. That's what you were saying?
Yes, that's what she was
I
saying.
thought you said Vellicum.
It's
I'm
not
like, who's
right.
that?
It's not right.
Okay, anyway, I love the fact that you two, who probably don't speak German, but not the German's Norwegian. But anyway, I'm going to move on to duets.
favorite.
It's your favorite, is it?
Yes,
You like a good
absolutely.
duet?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like, turn it up, man.
Stormy and Pam. Yeah, is that your favorite
You
duet?
got it. Absolutely.
Do you know what that means?
Stormy and Pam?
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you're going to tell me now.
Palm of your hand. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
Did you say Pam of your hand?
Yeah, because that's
okay.
a joke.
Oh, I see what you did
That's
there.
the
You took
joke.
the L out and
Yeah.
okay. I honestly was thinking she
Okay.
was talking about Pamela Anderson for some
Yeah.
reason, but all right,
No,
go
he
ahead, do you?
wishes. Okay, so I thought I would start with the very first, and I think I mentioned it in a different podcast, the very first record that I ever owned was, in fact, a duet. The very first 7-inch, as I think they were back then, right?
The 7 inches. Yeah.
Mm.
Sorry.
Mel O is
Is this
so...
a vanity? Is this a Vanity 6 song?
I know. That's
Like,
what I was
that's
thinking
like-
of too.
that's
She's
like,
like, because she says, I need 7
Inches
inches or more.
more.
Looks like Nasty Girl. That's the song.
Yep.
Nasty Girls. Dance, dance, dance.
See
She talks
how-
about
see-
7 inches.
See, Madman, they have to make everything dirty. So it was Elton John and Kiki D, Don't Go Breaking My Heart from
God,
1976.
Of course it would be.
I was going to guess someone totally different. I was going to guess the Carpenters.
Well, I mean, they're not really a duet because they're part of the same band. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I figured it was Kiki. But yeah,
Okay, so that was my first.
it's Too Happy. Of course, you would like that song.
I was like probably 6, so forgive me for not being
Whatever.
into Norwegian
Loser.
death metal when I was
Loser.
Some
6.
people.
But I
Loser.
know, God. Okay, so continuing with Elton John, even Mel O has to agree with me on this one. Elton John and George Michael, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
Yes.
Oh.
And let me tell you why this one is so awesome is because in the middle of it, when first of all, if you've listened to the podcast enough, you know that Zoe and I wish we were like George Michael's lovers on the side. I would totally do it. It doesn't matter. And when he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John,"
John.
and then but as it's building, you hear the crowd, and then as soon as he hits the stage, you can hear it erupt. And every single time I get goosebumps. Great
Yeah.
song.
Fantastic song. And yeah, I have to.
Fantastic.
And he's like a Greek god. God, he was
Yeah.
so fucking
And
fine.
actually, it was his birthday this week. So there was we
George
posted,
Michael's?
yeah, George Michael. And please, Mel, please stop putting an S on the end of it. It's George Michael.
That's right. But
Yeah.
I always say like George Michael's like he's mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's
I
what
thought
I'm
you were
doing
just
there.
like my dad. He adds an S to everything. Oh, let's go into Targets. No, it's just
No,
Target.
that is just your dad.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's a British thing.
Let's go to the clubs.
Did But that works because
Oh,
you usually
yeah.
visit. Well, if you don't, you can usually visit
How
more
was
than
that?
one club a night, but not in Vegas unless you're a
And
superstar
not
because
if
you'll
you're-
never get through
not
the
if you're
fucking lines.
Stormy.
Unless
Yeah,
it's me.
Yeah.
Stormy like just walks through. He's like, whatever.
Okay.
Forbes, bitch.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You should go to the front of the line for that.
Always.
So, continuing on with George Michael. How about George Michael and Aretha Franklin? I Knew You Were Waiting.
Yes.
1987. Not the best song, but we're just
It's
trying
not.
to continue on with
Yeah.
I was trying to continue on from
We got it. We're
Yeah,
there with
wait.
you.
No,
With
no,
everything.
I didn't get it. I don't know. Please.
piss off. And then Aretha Franklin and Annie Lennox, sisters, are doing it for themselves.
Yep, of course. Mm-hmm. That was good. And it was an odd pairing, but it worked
odd.
pretty okay. But even then, I was like, a little weird. And that was right around the time as the George Michael's one. So I was like, wow, she's just kind of duetting with everybody.
Yes, indeed. Now I'm going to, I couldn't think of any other Annie Lennox ones, so I'm just going to jump to a song that I was listening to as I was driving here. Phil Collins, who I adore. Phil Collins has done quite a few, but we'll start with Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin, Separate Lives. It just came on the radio as I was driving.
Yes, that song makes me cry every time, for no reason, by the way.
And that's does anyone know the movie that was from?
Yeah, it was from Against All Odds. What?
Wrong.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's from White Nights. Apparently.
No, it's not.
The movie, I said.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Against All Odds was the solo song from the movie Against All Odds. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, we'll give that to you.
Please do note that Mel O will not say sorry. She just patted my hand.
It's not that serious. Shit, I didn't like kick you in your throat. I
will,
will, though.
Even then, she wouldn't say sorry.
That's probably
so.
True.
Phil Collins, another fantastic Phil Collins duet, and a little side note and shout out to some of my old school friends. We were in a band.
You were in a band?
Yes, but we knew.
You mean like a school band?
No, we were at school, but we were in a band, but we only played one song, and the song was Phil Collins and Phil Bailey, "Easy Lover."
Oh.
And I play. Isn't that a great song?
That's
and I played the bass guitar. It's the only thing.
It was like 3 chords, right?
Yeah, so it was fairly easy. So shout out to Karen, Nicole, Kate, and Joe, my little band.
So wait, you guys would hit the stage, play one fucking song, and be like, "Thank you, good night."
Oh no, we never did. We just stood in the music room and rehearsed. That was that.
Rehearsed
really.
For what? With your one song?
For our future career that never
To play
happened.
the one song?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was probably so we didn't have to go out in the rain or something, but you know.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That is a great song though.
Anyway, we love Phil Collins. See, now I'm getting all.
Well, stop getting that one song that you played.
Absolutely.
In your head.
But
Jesus Christ.
I wonder if I could still play it. Anyway,
I'm sure you can't.
Now, a song that I wanted to mention because another couple of new listeners that we have are from Australia. Did we mention that?
You mean Australia?
Australia. Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, kind of.
Not really, but go ahead.
Are you two dissing how I say Australia now?
We're not dissing anything.
No, I actually...
Except how you say Australia.
Right, you're pronouncing every letter, but go ahead.
Okay. Fantastic song if you haven't heard it. Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue, Where the Wild Roses Grow.
Never heard it.
Okay, you need to listen to it. And they're both Australian.
I'll reluctantly put it on the playlist, but I've never heard of it. It sounds like Where the Wild Things Are, which makes me think it's going to be a stupid song.
Well, it's not, and you should listen to it.
I am. Obviously, I'm going to put it on the playlist, so I will listen to it and do the locomotion while I'm listening to the song.
Okay.
Feel better?
Pardon me.
Feel better?
Make some room.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're gonna go back in time a little bit to some OG duets. How about Sonny and Cher, "I Got You Babe" from 1965?
Yeah, but they were part of the same group. I don't know if that's technically a duet.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because when
duets, you mean like bringing two people together that weren't
does
part
it
of the
have
same
to
group?
be-
So
Yeah.
next you're going to see like Eric B and Rakim don't count.
No, they're part of the same group.
Oh, you're killing me.
But I mean, I love them and I saw them live. So if you want to throw that in there, I'm not going to be
Okay, then this one I know you'll like.
okay.
Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, "Islands in the Stream."
I loved that song when I was growing up in the South, which I've talked about tons of times. But yeah, so I know the song "Islands in the Stream." Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't named the one with R. Kelly and Celine Dion.
No, shut up. You're
What?
lying.
They did. R. Kelly and Celine Dion did a song, "I'm Your Angel." Check it out.
Well, we try not to mention R. Kelly
Okay.
too much.
Well, look, we talk about Michael
Or Celine
Jackson. We
Dion.
might as well. Well, Celine
No.
Dion more so than I think
But
I'd
Yeah,
rather.
but R.
Dion did
Kelly
a
is
song
still
with R. Kelly.
breathing and still able to answer to his charges. That's the difference.
Yeah, well, and so is Celine Dion. She's still breathing, but she doesn't have any charges against her. But I will find it, put it on the playlist.
Yes, put that
that
one on there.
sounds.
Have you ever heard
Awful.
that song?
No.
No. I'm kind of wondering if you just made it up, but we're going to figure it out.
I'm dead serious.
When I edit this and I build a playlist.
Yes, you're going to find it.
Okay, and I will probably vomit in my mouth a little bit. But
Okay, how about Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warner, Up Where We Belong?
Oh, I fucking hate that song.
Oh, really? What movie is it from?
Top Gun.
Close. Similar era, Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh.
Yeah, gotcha.
And
What
then,
do you mean, gotcha? You didn't say shit. He's like,
gotcha.
yeah, Zoe,
Gotcha. You're right, yeah. That's just what I was about to say.
That's right. I was totally going to say that, but
say.
Mel beat me with the wrong answer.
And then Jennifer Warner again with Bill Medley.
Oh, yeah.
I've had the time of my life.
Right, which I also hate that song.
Oh, really? But you love the movie, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Dirty
of course, I totally
Dancing.
wanted to get a piece of Patrick Swayze.
Oh, I've had the time of my life. I love that.
I mean, and I get it. She runs and he lifts her up in the little swan thing, you know.
And talking about movie duets, you're the one that I want, Olivia Newton and John Travolta from Grease.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
My friend Gwen and I in high school, we used to watch Grease religiously over and over again. I would have fucked John Travolta in that movie too.
Yeah, I don't think you're his type.
I know I'm not, but in my head, I was.
Right.
Which is really what all this is about. Anybody that I feel like would totally dig me, like it's in my head. Like Jeff Goldblum. Seriously, I know you're married.
I think Jeff would, if he wasn't married.
I have a thing for Jewish and Catholic boys. I don't know what my deal is. Seriously, I'm dead serious.
Sweet. Well, I'm just going to do a couple more. Nice.
Wow, dismissive much?
No. I'm going to do a couple of Michael Jackson ones, since we just mentioned Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has done a ton of duets. He did 2 with Paul McCartney. Can we name each of them?
Say.
Yep.
And, fuck.
The Girl Is Mine.
Yay!
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Stormy, for having my back.
Did you look that up, or you just...
No,
knew
actually,
it?
I knew that one because the girl is mine. Mine. Yeah, she's mine.
Mine. And on Say, LaToya was in that video, which was kind of
she?
weird. Yeah, his
was she?
sister, LaToya. And Linda McCarthy. So
Really?
Yeah, or
Interesting.
McCarty. Paul
McCartney.
Yeah. Who's going to be here? Go ahead.
Well, Paulie's Linda isn't, because she's...
Yeah, I were aware of that. But yes, Paul is coming here. But you know what? They could hologram her. They hologrammed everybody else.
Yep. They can do it.
They can make that shit happen. If you've ever seen Michael Jackson 1, they hologram Michael Jackson, and it is.
Yeah,
we have got to see it before they
pull the plug on it.
Pull it. Yeah.
Are they pulling the plug?
I've heard that they are.
They're doing all the controversy, and it's a really good thing. But they do this one part on Thriller that just scares me, because for those of you out there who know me, I'm terrified of zombies. Like, not a joke. I'm terrified of zombies. So that part of the show,
That's good to know.
always scares me to death.
So that's something we could...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've got
bear in
that
mind.
logged into my book.
Yeah,
Fuck you guys.
for
All right.
future reference. Another Michael Jackson duet is with Saida Garrett. I Just Can't Stop Loving You. I must admit, I do like that song.
That's a good song.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have pages and pages of more duets.
Pages of research?
Pages of research? How about that?
Yeah. I mean,
How do you do that?
Way to over-prepare, Zoe.
I know I'm terrible, but
Brown noser.
I really am, because I just want to make my fans happy.
Was this for our new Norwegian fans? Is that what you're over prepping?
Yeah.
No, we're always on our A game when we record.
Me too.
It's true.
Yeah, I know. You're at A game on the fly. We love you for it too.
Okay, how about I ask you a question? Does anyone know the only father-daughter duet to reach the top of the Hot 100?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
Frank and Nancy Sinatra.
That's who I was gonna say, but I don't know the song though.
Something Stupid.
Oh, see, I was gonna say Frank and Nancy because they're the only ones I could remember that were on the thing at the same time, but I didn't know the song.
But there has been another father-daughter duet, but it was post-father death.
Oh yeah, it's Nat King Cole
and
Natalie Cole.
Yep.
Unforgettable. That was
Yeah,
another.
that was kind of it. Yeah, that doesn't count. That's not really real.
Oh, that's still
Right.
cute. Still,
No, they did.
just
you
recorded
can
this-
Sing it.
Yeah, people recorded this studio sessions at different times all the time.
Yeah, I know, but they're not dead.
He wasn't dead when he did his.
He was. He did the original song way back, and then she came in. I think she kind of piggybacked on it. To be honest with you, I don't think it was cool.
If they did it at the same studio, does that count?
No, it was like within 20 years of each other or something.
What was the guy who got married to his
Cousin
cousin?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah, they had 20 years. between
them.
Yeah,
but they didn't sing.
Well, they did other stuff.
They didn't sing.
Oh,
yeah,
God. Let's
that's
move
a
on
horrible.
From
That's a horrible comment.
that. Okay, I'm going to do one more.
Okay.
One more person.
And then we got to get all financial on this.
Yes, we got to get a financial. Let's talk about the money.
Stevie Nicks has done a couple
Tom Petty.
Yep.
Which I actually don't like the song.
Stop Dragging My Heart Around.
Stop Dragging My Heart.
No.
I actually don't like the song.
I love that song.
Yeah, I like that too.
And I love Tom Petty. We've talked about it. I love Stevie Nicks. I don't like that song together. And they did another song together as well, Stevie and Tom, which was I'm a Outsider.
Huh.
I'm an Outsider. Yep.
And then she did one with Don Henley called Leather and Lace.
Yep, that was off of her, I think, her Leather and Lace album. Yeah. Which was a little hiatus from Fleetwood Mac in the early 80s, I think, if memory serves me.
And the Stop Dragging My Heart Around was apparently her first song as a solo artist.
Well, and so Stop Dragging My Heart Around wasn't even her song. It was the Heartbreakers, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song.
Uh-huh.
And then she came and he only sang one verse in the whole song besides backup, and that was the one where it was singing from a guy's perspective, and so they had to do that.
Hey, didn't John Lennon and Yoko Ono do a song together?
Well, yeah, they were in the Plastic... Well, I guess the Plastic Ono band wasn't really a...
That would be a duet.
Yeah, but it was really a band. It was like him playing and her screaming and doing... No, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not lying. I'm not like being funny.
We'll put that on the playlist.
That was what
don't.
I will try to find something from the Plastic Ono band, but literally it was like more of a conceptual art sound thing than an actual band.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you have Wings, of course, which was Linda McCartney and Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but that's a band. That's
part of the same band.
Yeah.
Yep. Much like Eric B. and Rakim.
Eric B. and Rakim.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, Mel, well, hit us with some financial shit before we do some more duets.
Dude,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to drop some quick financial knowledge, and then I'm going to talk about my duets.
Let's hear it.
Which are going to be the fucking shit. So just stay tuned for that. So I'm just letting you know.
And then I'll come back with some more. Don't worry.
Mine are way better. So anyway, every time I lower my voice, I keep hearing Stormy, wet, wet, wet. Like I can't whisper and not hear that. It's in my nightmares. So what we wanted to do is we want to talk about duets and then financial strategies that pair well together. And I thought that I would kind of parlay. Is that the right term? Parlay it into the financial discussion. Is that right? That's right.
You can parlay it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm parlaying it.
Let's
okay.
parlay it.
So budgeting. Okay, right? I know. Right. You're all fucking on the edge of your seat.
Excited.
I know. So I covered this in the book, but when you're getting ready to set up a budget, there's a couple things that you need to know how you categorize your expenses, because a lot of people tell me when they get ready to do a budget, they actually don't know how to, and I just breathed again. I can't help it. I'm just breathing all the time.
Tell her to stop.
I'm breathing all the time. And they don't know where to start or how to start or any of that kind of stuff. So when you're building a budget, the thing that you want to start with first is you want to start with two categories, your discretionary expenses and your non-discretionary expenses, okay? Then once you break that out, if you're setting up a budget, you start with your discretionary and your non-discretionary, meaning you got to pay it every month regardless, okay? Car payments, whatever. Then you have your discretionary, which is we have to pay this, but if we don't do it, it's okay. Then you break those two categories out into fixed and variable, because you're going to have non-discretionary items like childcare that are fixed, where you pay the same every single month, or car insurance or rent or mortgage. That's considered a non-discretionary fixed item. Okay. Then you have your discretionary, which means that you can do it or not do it, and those fall into the same two categories, fixed or variable. So the reason why putting a budget in place is so important is not, does it help you understand where the fuck your money goes? Yeah, absolutely. And it's important for you to track stuff, because I say this constantly. You spend more money on the items you choose to spend money on than you think. You spend way more money than you think. And when I'm sitting across from you and we're doing a financial plan for you, you always understate it until I actually start digging through the numbers and they don't actually add up. But more importantly, what getting a budget in place does is that it lets you know right away, besides your credit score, if you go sit in front of a loan officer and you want to do anything, buy a house, buy a car, student loans are a little different, but something of that nature, they have things that are called debt to income ratios, where they want to see how much of your living expenses are a ratio to your income. And actually, yeah, you did mortgages, so you know what I'm talking about, Stormy.
Right.
So when you do a budget, you can start figuring out what percentage of your income are for these non-discretionary, specifically fixed items. And when you sit in front of a loan officer, besides making sure that you got your credit in check, it's going to be important for you to understand your numbers. Because if you have, at least at the time when I knew people were doing loans, and I don't do loans now, the threshold was 33% if you were doing a home equity. And I think for mortgages, was it relevant for mortgages? Because if you're renting and you're buying a home.
Yeah, they had a front and back end ratio, but I don't recall. I mean, I just don't recall what the ratio is. It's been so long.
Yeah, and it's been a hot minute for me, but I used to do home equity lines long time ago, and that was kind of our cutoff at the time was 33. I'm sure it's dropped now significantly. And so when an underwriter is looking at your stuff, they don't know who you are. They don't know anything about you. They just have guidelines of, okay, this is the, if our cutoff is 33%, at that point, the underwriter is going to make a decision if maybe they have leeway to go to 38% or something like that. And they're going to do that based on the other stuff. So if you sit down with a budget and you start tracking your stuff, and we talk about budgeting in the book, and I'm not going to go through all of that here because it's easier to read than for me to sit here and explain. But budgets are very flexible. But the most important thing is that you need to understand your numbers. And you need to understand that when underwriters are looking at you for any type of lending, they are going to be looking at these certain ratios. So your car payments and your student loans and your credit cards all file into this. And you have, debt to income ratios. Then you have other ratios that they look at for non-discretionary items like credit cards that basically you didn't have to do, but you took on. And so that's the reason why budget is very important to you. And so anytime, again, when you're starting with the budget, you want to start with discretionary and non-discretionary. These are the first two categories. Then you separate those out into fixed and variable. And then from there, you can start seeing what you can start pulling out if you need to, if your whole goal or intent is to get a loan to go on vacation or get a house loan or get a car loan or buy that boat, which is not really super big in Vegas, even though there's tons of boats out at Lake Mead, which is like a puddle at this point. Have you guys been out there?
No,
I have not, but I'm told that there was lots of snowfall in Colorado, which means got lots of water coming in for this year.
God, I hope so. Because it's so sad when you fly over there in a helicopter and you see the measuring stick and then you see like feet after it, and that's where the water line is. So like the measuring stick that was so long at the time is not long enough to track all of the water that we have going down. So anyway, with budgeting, there's certain different percentages that you should be maxed out on as far as rent or groceries and all those things. And they're all in the book. I'm not going to talk about them here because I'm going to bore you all to death. But just know that there are guidelines so that you can put a budget in place and you can start getting yourself ready to achieve whatever it is that your objective is. You can get it situated so when you sit down in front of an underwriter, as long as your credit's in check, you have a much better opportunity to get approved. And now I'm going to blow Zoe away with my fucking take on duets. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so check it. Remember how I told you guys when we talked about on our con episode, we were talking about LimeWire?
LimeWire. I remember LimeWire.
LimeWire. And I told you guys that I once had a duet with Ozzy and Miss Piggy. You guys remember that?
No.
Nobody pays attention to me. So I mentioned in that podcast that I had downloaded a song with Ozzy and Miss Piggy, and I found it, and it's Born to Be Wild that they sing together, and it's on YouTube. You can actually search for it. But that got me to thinking about the Muppets and all of the stars that they had coming on the Muppets.
Love the Muppets.
I know. Why did they take it off? And so I spent hours, y'all, watching Muppet people, and the one that I remember the most is the Charlie Daniels one, and I swear in my head I thought Charlie Daniels was there playing the fiddle, but I remember it scared me because it was a devil and there was like devils, and I talk about having our childhood crushed. Charlie Daniels is not actually in that actual episode, but they are singing the Charlie Daniels. So
okay,
there's a fuck ton of artists who've been on the Muppet Show, and for the millennials out there who've never seen the Muppet Show, I'm really sorry for you because it was amazing. It was both a little sexual adult, but at the same time, it was very wholesome. So, and I'll explain myself here.
Let's hear that one.
Yeah. So there's so many of them. So I'm only going to highlight a couple of them. First of all, Kermit and Julie Andrews from The hills are alive. What is that movie? Sound of Music. Sound of Music. I've still never seen it.
Oh, God, I've seen it about 500 times. It's Ethan's favorite movie. Shout out to Ethan Pye.
It's a Christmas movie, right?
Never heard of it.
Well,
yes, you have. Shut
Sound
up.
of Music. Are you kidding?
So all I know is that they were hiding from the Nazis, right? And then she was running around a mountain singing.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Right.
Oh, she sings my favorite things in that one. My favorite. Okay, because I love that.
A few of my favorite things.
So I love that song.
I've got it on DVD if you want to borrow it.
I might actually.
It's really is a good movie.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure Netflix probably has it, but maybe I'll do DVD and we'll go back to like 97. I can do that.
I have it on VHS if you. I have it on Betamax if you want.
Betamax?
All about the Betamax.
Oh my God. Okay, so Kermit and Julie Andrews and Kermit and Ray Charles, but Kermit and Ray Charles sung it on Cher. They both did a duet with Kermit on It Ain't Easy Being Green. So the reason why this was such a big deal is because a lot of the music documentaries and articles you read, the artists that were coming up, specifically black artists that were coming up, they said that when they heard that, especially when he sang with Ray Charles, I almost started crying. It was like they said, and this is their words, not mine, that they could, because obviously I'm white, that they could see them like It Ain't Easy Being Black. Like they could associate with it, and and when I saw it with the Ray Charles, and plus Ray Charles is amazing, it literally almost made me want to fucking cry. And there's a ton of people that have been on the Muppets that I didn't even know. Like, you guys remember Archie Bunker?
Yeah.
Okay, so Edith, Archie and Edith. Okay, I'm looking at my British. She has no idea what I'm talking about. So there was a show called All in the Family with Archie Bunker.
Yep.
And Edith was his wife. And Edith was on the show, and she sang Simple Melody. And apparently she was a comedian and like not a vaudeville, because she was too young at the time for vaudeville. But anyway, so she sang that, and Florence Henderson sang So Happy Together with a whole bunch of the little crazy, not the normal Muppets, but the one that looked like monsters. And I just was tripping when I was seeing all these people that had been on there. Bob Hope, Gilda Radner, craziness. And then Sesame Street, of course, because the Muppet Show was an offshoot of Sesame Street.
Right.
Billy Joel was singing to the Grinch, Just the Way You Are. And the Grinch, or not the Grinch, the Grouch. I don't know. I do love the Grinch movie. So the Grouch I always related to, because I also don't really like to be touched and don't really like, I'm not warm and fuzzy. And so Billy was singing, Don't Go Changing, to him and the Grouch. And he's like, oh, you like me? He's like, well, what if I change? And then he put on a wig, and that's when he says, don't go changing, whatever. So the Grouch finally has to just accept the fact that Billy Joel loves him. And maybe that's why I'm still single. Whatever. It's okay. I'll just find a therapist and pull up a couch. So he was singing to the Grinch, and there was a lady sign languaging it the whole time, which touched my heart. And then Ray Charles again with Elmo on Sesame Street singing Believe in Yourself, which was amazing because he was trying to explain to Elmo that he was blind and he was reading with his fingers. Come on. And he was like, hey, well, my eyes don't work so good anymore, so I read with my fingers. And then they went into that. And then NSYNC did, also on Sesame Street, Believe in Yourself, which can't hold a candle to Ray Charles. But I watched the YouTube video, and they were totally into it. Like, they were huge at this point, and they were normal looking, they were singing, and they were happy, very appealing to children. And I thought that was super cool. Norah Jones.
Yep.
Oh, I like Norah Jones.
Don't know why
Norah Jones.
you didn't call. Right? So she sang a song, Don't Know Why, the letter Y, You Didn't Come. So she was supposed to meet the letter Y, but he didn't come.
Oh.
Yeah. So she
That
was singing
Y.
to him. Pharrell has been on there. I'm like, how did Sesame Street get lit all of a sudden? All these fucking people. I don't remember it being that cool when I was watching it. And which was like last week. And then Janelle Monáe, the one that was in the Revlon commercial with like the bouffant.
And you said they're off the air?
No, Sesame Street's still
No,
on the
it's
air,
still
but it
on.
just wasn't
Okay,
lit.
gotcha.
It wasn't
It
like
wasn't-
all these cool ass people. Gwen Stefani's been on it. Jimmy Fallon and the Roots. And one of the guys in the Roots started rapping about knowing some character from Sesame Street and showing her report card. It was really cute. Like, if I had a kid, I'd be like, oh, that'd be nice. And Little Richard's been on there singing Rubber Ducky, which I can totally see that. Actually, even not being on the Muppets, I can totally see him singing Rubber Ducky. CeeLo Green, and then one of my personal favorites, Kenny Rogers the Gambler. So I remember seeing this when I was little, and he's on like a box cart in a boxcar on a train, and he's singing. He talks about the gambler, and then I realized how awesome the Muppets was, because he said he asked for a swig of my whiskey, whatever. So he handles him his bottle. The guy swigs down the rest of his whiskey and then bums a cigarette and then starts smoking. And I'm like, this is on the Muppets. This is fucking awesome. So there's a Muppet drinking whiskey and smoking a cigarette. And then throughout the song, Kenny Rogers says, somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. So he died. Basically, he's what happened. He's died. And then the spirit of the Muppet comes up and starts dancing. And it was really creepy, but it was so fucking good. Raquel Welch was on there, and Blondie was on there. She sang 2 different songs. She sang Call Me, but she was very buttoned up. So, Blondie posed in Playboy, but she was very, like, both times she sang, she was very buttoned up and very understated. Raquel Welch was the same way. But when she met Fozzie, because Fozzie was like, oh, Raquel's not going to meet me. She's like, oh, Fozzie, I came here just for you. And she puts his head right on her boobs. And as a little kid, I was like, oh, she's hugging him. And now I'm like, oh, you should see it a little different when you're older. and then, of course, rounding out Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper was on there, and he sang To the Lady Monster, You and Me. And she was like, she had this really big, it looked like metal, but it might not have been. And they're singing face to face. And, of course, the puppeteer can't see it. So it keeps like kind of scratching Alice's nose. And shout out to Michelle, because Alice Cooper's her favorite guy. And then, of course, he sang School's Out. So I thought that was absolutely amazing, and it made me miss the Muppet Show. But, of course, the Muppet Show stopped and then moved to Disney. So now Disney has yet their claws in that childhood thing as well. And, of course, the little old man at the top. Oh, they were
the 2 old men, yeah.
Oh, they were absolutely my favorite. So that's when we talked about duets. That's the first thing that I went to in my head. And unfortunately, the Miss Piggy and Ozzy combo is not visual. It's only an audio. But he's like getting crazy with Miss Piggy, and it sounds like she's kind of getting turned on. It's a little weird. But you can YouTube that. Or I actually saved the link, so we might put it on social media, because it sounds a little wrong, but awesome.
Well, let me throw in my favorite duets
of
all time.
All right, go ahead.
Because I'm sure I wanted to get in a sandwich.
Yes, do it.
So first of all, I've got some good ones. There was a movie in 1969, Paint Your Wagon, starring Clint Eastwood and Lee Marvin. They sung a song together.
No.
Yeah.
That's not the Oklahoma.
I don't know what song, but they sung the song together.
It might
Tough
have
guys.
been
Lee Marvin.
It might have been Paint Your Wagon.
Yeah.
I think they sang a song, Paint Your Wagon, in Paint Your Wagon. I think so.
Correct. So that's the song. So Clint Eastwood, Lee Marvin. So I've got another one for you.
All right.
That I really, really dug. You may not know this, but Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone.
What?
Yep, they did a duet together from, what was their movie? Rhinestone.
Oh, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Rhinestone Cowboy. Yeah, those two did a song together. And don't forget, you can't forget when Michael Jackson teamed up with Eddie Murphy.
That's not the only song Eddie Murphy ever did was the Party All the Time, but I don't remember Michael Jackson being on that.
Yeah, it's called What's Up With You.
I have never heard that song.
Make sure you add it.
I will.
Eddie Murphy and Michael Jackson.
See, but the thing that's fucked up is that since I build the playlist, I hear all the songs, and you guys do not have to listen to all the songs. And I'm like, wow, this song is horrible.
Well, there it is. You can add it to the list. So.
But I did. I love Party All the Time, though.
Well,
I
there
did.
You go. Well, now you got What's Up With That.
And everybody, what's up with that? Okay, and then...
I'm sorry. What's Up With You?
What's Up With You?
What's Up With You?
Okay.
That's the name of it.
Well, and this isn't really a duet, but there's
What
two...
do you mean that's not a duet?
No, in my head. No, not what you said. And so, Somebody's Watching Me, Michael Jackson saying back up to Rockwell. And then Christopher Cross, who I fucking love, Christopher Cross, and Ride Like the Wind, and Michael McDonald saying back up on that. So it's not a duet, but it makes the song. So same with Rockwell, Always Feel Like, Michael Jackson, I Always Feel Like in the background, and then Michael McDonald is singing back up in Ride Like the Wind. Like those, they're not a duet, but that totally fucking makes the songs.
There it is.
There you go. And of course, Eric B. and Rakim.
Absolutely.
Paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even know who we're talking about, Zoe?
Who? Eric B. and Rakim, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Have you heard them?
Heard the song?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure I have. Yeah.
She does not. If she doesn't sound convincing, she looks even less convincing.
Absolutely. That was pretty bad.
That was real bad. Okay.
Well,
all right.
cool.
So
Okay.
So give us some crazy shit that only you're going to know,
Yeah,
Zoe.
absolutely.
Oh, no, I think you'll know this because you just mentioned Michael McDonald, right? Mm-hmm. He did a duet
Patti
with
LaBelle.
Patti LaBelle on My Own in 1986.
Yep.
Getting a bit more recent, Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, Empire State of Mind,
Yeah.
2009. That was a good one. Brandy and Monica, The Boy Is Mine.
Yeah. Which I hated because even then in the 90s, I was like, why are these bitches fighting over a guy?
Yeah.
Because they thought it was me.
Shit.
Just saying.
Well, at the end of the video, they both dump him. But the point is that why would you even do that? I would be like, oh, wait a minute, you're dating the same guy I am? Fuck that, he's gone. And we high five and get a drink together, and the guy's left out in the cold. But no, they wanted to keep explaining why they were better. Ridiculous.
Word.
And Brandy was, but go ahead.
One of my all-time favorites, Lionel Richie, Diana Ross, Endless Love.
Oh, that song sucked.
Not a fan.
Yep, not a fan. That song was horrible.
Not a fan
Okay.
of Endless Love. Gotta be honest.
How many babies have been made to that song?
I hope
Come on.
none.
Oh, I'm gonna guess quite a few, but
Dude, people don't really have sex to slow songs, do they?
Yeah.
yes, they do. Mel O. Not in your house, maybe, but in everyone.
It's Norwegian death metal every single day when you come in.
And
That's
according to the recent article we posted, with earbuds in.
yes, wireless.
What's that all about?
Wireless earbuds. Actually, I think that sounds awesome because then I could be listening to my music and he could be listening to his music and then we're totally good.
You know, my
Don't
wife
need
just
to
shared a
talk-
story with me.
Sure.
She says she's never slept with another man. True story. They all kept her up.
I knew that was coming. Boom, boom.
There it is.
I'll add a sound effect on that. Maybe.
Okay,
I don't know.
please
We'll
do.
see when I edit
Please
this.
do. Let's throw it in there.
Yeah. Dude, I might. That'd be that'd be dope.
Ozzy Osbourne did a duet,
With Lita Ford.
Close My Eyes Forever. Never heard it. Is it any
And
good?
she, not one of my favorite songs. Her voice sounds harsher than his. When I very, very first heard it, I was very young. And I swear to God, I thought Lita Ford was Ozzy until I saw the video. And I saw whose voice belonged to who. And I was like, what the fuck is that? That's not even right. It's not great.
No.
It's not great. No.
Okay. Well,
And it doesn't make sense. The lyrics don't make any sense either.
Close My Eyes Forever. Well, our
Will it
listeners
all
can let us
remain the
know.
same? No, you're dead. I don't. There's not any like. You're dead. No, nothing's gonna remain the same. I'm not gonna. No, you're dead. You have to listen to this. I'll put it on the playlist. I'm
Okay.
sure
Okay.
everybody knows it, except obviously Zoe and Stormy.
Yeah, and me. I
with an
definitely don't know
IE.
that one. With an IE. Don't forget it.
How about Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush? Don't Give Up.
Nope.
Don't like it or don't know it?
Never
No, I
heard
know it. I don't like. I wasn't a fan of Kate Bush, but don't give up. I don't. No,
Okay.
not a fan.
Marvin Gaye has done a handful of duets with Tammy Terrell.
Who
Oh, yeah.
I believe he fucked and had a kid with.
Oh, really?
When he
Yeah.
was married, yeah, because they sang "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," right?
Yep.
Yeah, he was totally sleeping through it, and then she died on stage in his arms. She collapsed while they were singing on stage
really?
and died in his arms.
What?
Yeah, and he was still, I think he was still married at the time, or he was divorcing at the time, and it was a whole thing. I don't know if it happened after
Wow.
they divorced. Yeah, she died in his arms, and they totally like loved each other. I don't know if she was pregnant or not, but maybe I made that part up. But yeah, she died on stage. I'm almost positive. Google that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive.
Another two were I'm Your Puppet and Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing. They sang those together.
I don't know. I'm Your Puppet.
I'm
That's-
Your Puppet. No, that doesn't help at all. Okay.
No.
Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder.
Vedder? Are you talking about Temple of the Dog?
Hunger.
Hunger Strike. Yeah, it's Temple of the Dog. We should have covered that in our grunge episode, and we did not. It's a good song. Hunger Strike, yeah.
Yeah.
Queen and David Bowie, Under Pressure. You like that one, don't you, Stormy?
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. About time you get a good song. Your taste sucks. Yours too.
What? Shit. That tastes as bomb.
How about Eminem and Dido, Stan? I love that song.
Yeah. That's a great song until you realize what the song's about. When it first came out, I was like, this is awesome. Then when I listened to the lyrics, I was like, wow, that is fucked up, Eminem. But I guess he talked about killing his ex-wife constantly, so I guess we shouldn't even... Oh, and they did, at the Video Music Awards, they sang that song, and this was when Eminem was using the word faggot, and it was a big controversy. Uh-huh. And so Elton John, who was totally out at that time, came out and sang Dido's part for Stan on the, if I remember correctly, on the VMA Awards. And Eminem kept trying to explain. He's like, I'm not saying it as a racial slur. I'm
a homophobic.
As a homophobic slur. I'm just, I'm saying it. And so I just thought that was cool. Because soon as Elton John stepped on the stage, who was obviously came out at that point, we were all like, oh, awesome. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but that's what happened.
So back to Tammy Terrell.
Yes.
She didn't collapse on stage.
She didn't collapse on stage?
No, she did collapse on stage.
Oh, she did.
Right.
But she didn't die until 2.5 years later. It was because of her brain tumor.
Oh, shit.
So Motown downplayed her
it.
illness. So it wasn't quite as dramatic. But yeah, she did die because of the brain tumor. But
It almost makes it worse because then the person you love is out of commission for 2.5 years before they die. I think I'd rather have them die in my arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be easier for you.
It would be easier for me.
Yeah.
Because then I'd be like, well, okay. Get up, push the dirt off my shoulders.
And move on.
Walk off the stage.
Okay, now here's a song that I'm not going to say you won't have heard of because maybe you will.
I haven't.
Me either.
Jane Birkin and Serge Gainsbourg.
You can't even say the names.
Well, you wait till I tell you what the song is.
Sure.
Yeah, you wait and tell me.
Je t'aime, moi non plus. Now, when you put it on the playlist, you will have heard it. It was banned by the BBC and by the Pope.
You have to spell that shit for me because I don't even know how to begin to put that in.
I'll give you this.
Yeah, you can text it to me. Don't give me that. Handwriting's horrible.
And the Pope.
Text it to me.
It doesn't even make any sense when translated because it means I love you, me neither. So, but it's when you hear
that
it.
is offensive.
It's all.
That's the way when somebody says, "Hey Mel, I love you." I'm like, me neither.
And she wonders why she's single.
Yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
Why doesn't anybody love me? So I could tell them go away.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Now I know that Mel won't like this next one.
I hate it.
Nana Cherry and Yusin Nador.
Yeah,
7 seconds. I liked it. Do you remember that?
No, what
I
was
don't,
it?
but it's Nina
Seconds.
Cherry, and I'm not.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm out.
All right.
Oh, actually, there was the the 10 Second to Save the World, Madonna and Justin Timberlake. That just what made me think of that. If I had 10 seconds to
That's
save
a good
something.
song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
don't know
and
it.
I was like, what would you do? Are you going to have sex? Because that's what everybody says that they would do in the last seconds of
10 seconds?
the world.
Oh,
10
God,
seconds.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'd
What would
eat
they do with the rest
something.
of their time?
yeah exactly.
That's like,
Exactly.
like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like an eternity.
Stormy's like, Jesus. He was like, I could get dressed, take a shower. Especially if it was the end of the world. You'd be like putting that shit on hyperspeed. You'd be moving through it quick.
Oh, dear. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know the song, but I didn't know they did it together.
1937. Back when
Stormy was born?
just a
Yeah.
just
Just a sparkle in his daddy's eye.
a young
Absolutely.
buck.
Absolutely.
Shane McGowan from the Pogues and Kirsty MacColl.
Where do you find these people? I never heard of any of these people.
I don't
I'm just
fucking
sitting
know.
here and I'm like, who?
No, you don't. Well,
The Pogues.
the
Come
Pogues
on.
is an Irish band.
Yeah.
Fairy Tale of New York, and it's sad because Kirsty MacColl was she was famous over my neck of the woods, and she was killed in a boating accident in 2000.
I want our Norwegian and Australian friends to tell us, have you heard of any of these groups that,
That I'm
Zoe's
making
talking
up?
about? Because she's just making them up.
Yes, I agree. And any of the out of country fans, please let yourselves know on social media because we love it. And if you hear something that you think is bullshit, call us out.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I'm going to believe you, but free country. Well, at least it is in the United States. So you can holler it out.
Okay, then how about Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow cruising?
Hey, are you just going to keep your head hidden behind that microphone?
She is.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Nobody can see her on the
Mel
visual.
was going to hate that song. I kind of like it.
She
Yeah.
could sing better than I thought,
Yeah.
but I on principle, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
All right.
All right. Do you have any more crazy ass shit?
Yeah, because this
on
is
there.
Beyonce and Jay-Z, they did a couple together.
Yeah, they did. The Bonnie and Clyde 2000.
I understand he was the inspiration for Lemonade.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was.
Does that count?
That does.
Is it a duet?
No, but he does sing backup, and he does sing backup on "Crazy in Love."
Yeah.
But yeah, Bonnie and Clyde, because I remember in the video she had on a bikini, and she had on a flower wreath around her waist, and I didn't understand. But then I was like, oh, I have a really small waist and big thighs, so I was like, that she's probably trying to like kind of take away from that, so it just kind of breaks it up so it doesn't look as bad. But that was before she got super fucking Beyonce'd out. So I think that might have been how they met, or they met a little bit before that, but I think that's when they started hooking up and doing it. Anybody else, Zoe?
I'm going to end with two more.
Okay.
All right.
I'm anxious.
But you'll know these two. Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow picture.
Yes.
Yep.
And I didn't want to like it because it sounds very country. Great song.
But it is.
It is. It's a great song.
I'm not sure we can end on Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, Ebony and Ivory, can we?
No, we can't,
I don't know. We're kind of Ebony and Ivory out of here. I think it's good.
Okay, that's
there it is.
We're two ivories and ebony.
Yeah. Okay, then that's
Ebony's the black one, right? No, I'm fucking with you.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right. All right. So are we ready? Can we exit this thing?
Yeah. I mean, I still have more, but I feel like everyone's
sure you
falling
do.
asleep.
Dude, half of our listeners are like, why is she not talking about finances again? This is so fucking boring.
They're like, I'm an hour into this show. And it's like, what the hell?
I have so many more. Okay, well, I'll do my own little from home podcast
Right.
on all the
Absolutely,
other
sure.
duets.
We'll do that a bonus episode of Zoe rambling on about fucking duets and other things. So again, we want to remind you, good God, help us, to follow us on social media at Finances the Other F Word and F Word. I said F Word. That's kind of weird. F Word. And Twitter at Amped Cheddar. And then, of course, our book, Finances the Other F Word, is available on Amazon. 10% of net proceeds going to support Forgotten Not Gone, preventing veteran suicide, and Pause, providing animals with support. We will see you on the next podcast. Thank you for listening. And a shout out to all of our new countries welcoming into the fold of Finances the Other F World. I wish I could make out with all of you guys if you were hot.
Hands across the world, unite.
Okay, yeah.
What?
It was the Benetton. Hands across the world, unite.
Yeah.
Oh, Benetton never really caught on over here. We were too cool for that in the United States.
Well, Nicole,
We didn't like the whole united colors of Benetton. We're very separate here in the United States.
Fuck you very much.
And like you.
All right. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review us and tell your friends.